Well, let's get this party started.
Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Zeno Damus. I'm here with
you.
And on Skype.
You got Blood Axe.
Oh, wow. This is going to be a show here.
We're going to wreck some zombies, man.
I can already tell. Q's wound up. But yeah, we'll move on to the next show that is hitting a streaming service, and this time it is Amazon streaming service, and that's Fallout. So from a comic adaptation to now an adaptation of a video game, and this is not anime, but actually a actual production with actors and all that good stuff. So we'll see how this goes. Now I know you had some concerns, I think, with the showrunners being you got Captain Marvel showrunners coming into this.
Geneva Robertson Dworet.
Yeah. Now you have Graham Wagner, who did Silicon Valley, is also one of the, and I liked Silicon Valley. It was a fun TV show. So
I think we called it 50-50. One of the showrunners is competent. The other one isn't.
I don't know if I'd call it competent. I mean, now where Graham, so the comparison to Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley had a lot of that humor that would go well in a Fallout world.
It's a parody. Yeah, it's a parody.
Because Silicon Valley played a lot on that. So Graham could possibly bring that to the table. Now
Robertson Dworet
didn't seem really that great at universe building, so
or making likable main characters.
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. But hey, it I haven't seen a lot come out of Amazon that's really been great.
That's the other thing. They don't have a great
the Wheel of Time has been poorly received.
We're not even allowed to talk about that, are we? There's nothing I can say about that show that won't get me canceled.
No, hang on. Actually, we watched The Wheel of Time, Mrs. Bloodaxe and I, and we actually kind of enjoyed it. I haven't seen the actual reviews on it, but The Wheel of Time, I'm looking forward to the next season of that.
Well, most of the hate for The Wheel of Time has come from the people who
read
were fans of the book.
Now, that's probably a valid argument. I never read the books. The same thing with Game of Thrones. It didn't follow that content. And having read books and watched films like Ready Player One, we're going to expect you not to have the book be the actual script of the movie. And like we said in our first segment, staying true to the content is critical. And same thing with Fallout. We were talking before the show how me and Mrs. Bloodaxe have been watching The 100, which is an old CW post-apocalyptic Fallout vein-ish series. And CW is the CW, and they have lower budget properties, but they did it really well. Now, some of the concerns I had with that series specifically was the physics was completely way out. The medical approach of things did not make sense at all, and even from a non-nursing perspective, but working in the medical field, I know you don't draw blood at a 90-degree angle. It just doesn't work that way. But if they stay in the vein of Fallout with the humor aspects, but still the mutational aspects, making sure you have the hot zones of radiation. I think a lot of that could be a better version of what we've already seen in a 7-season series. But the post-apocalyptic world, well done, is extremely appealing to me as a geek culture fanatic, because I've always liked the dystopian world, how humans can pull together to overcome obstacles, whether it be post-war, and how do we make this world better than what we did before? How do we survive? Different factions have how civilization breaks down and how we band back together. The Brotherhood of Steel is a good example of what I could possibly see, like almost a paladin-esque types group forming together with very rigid laws. And as long as you follow the laws, you're going to be good. Versus you have the bandits factions that are very lawless.
Oh, the Raiders.
It
Yeah.
would be very
Did you ever watch that show? What was the name of the show? Jericho.
no. I didn't see that one.
Jericho was a post-apocalyptic type show. It was actually pretty good. Like I could almost see this as being Jericho with Fallout with Vault-Tec. You know?
Vault-Tec, the Enclave, the Brotherhood of Steel, they got some good material here. And what's best, there isn't a heavy canon story, so at least they shouldn't F it up. As long as they go, let's not F up Vault-Tec, let's not mess up the Conclave or Brotherhood of Steel, they're good. Almost any story, you want a half-shave-headed female character, works. Nothing will not work because it's make your own character. It's individual stories. So for once, they have a material that they can tell the story they want, and they only got to get 3 things right. Like I said, the factions, which aren't even that detailed. Like you said, they're loose enough to play with. The setting, which is a parody. Remember, it's a parody of a Fallout. And the retro style. Which is not hard to do. That actually saves money. Your robots not having to look like Transformers is a good thing. Doing Will Robinson Danger robots saves money. All the weapons are like, you have a cheesy laser pistol? That fits Fallout. You can walk around. There are literal Fallout lasers that look like the toy Zapper pistol. So everything is cost effective. Just don't poop on the factions and the parody. That's all you got to do. Don't get too serious. Oh, go ahead, bro.
There's one more thing they have to do right. They have to do right. Nuka-Cola World. I cannot wait to see a live-action Nuka-Cola World.
All right, dude, Nuka-Cola, man. Nuka-Cola, baby. Like the most probably famous video get like not real brand. If you walk into somebody and go Nuka-Cola, they're gonna be like Nuka-Cola.
I actually have the Nuka-Cola girl pop figurine that GameStop did a couple years ago. So no, I'm a Fallout fan. I'm not as hardcore into it as you. I haven't played Fallout 4 30 times like you have. But
I've played every Fallout except 1 and 2. Weirdly enough, I'm familiar with them, but
I played 1 and 2. They're
I didn't
very
play
different
those either.
games.
they're tactical They're tactical RTSs. Yeah.
I started with New Vegas and then I backtracked, which I thought was weird. But New Vegas, I picked up at GameStop's, a decade or so ago, and then I backtrack. And again, it's one of those things that's a first-person shooter, which I have to play limitedly because I get vertigo from playing first-person shooters. But the premise of the game and the story was so fascinating, especially when you're off adventuring and your Geiger counter goes off, you start taking radiation damage, but there's loot you're trying to get to because it's going to be good. And so those types of things and the risks that you can take with your characters. And I am curious, is it going to be following one Vault Hunter, or are you going to be following a group of Vault Hunters? Are they going to go Game of Thrones to where it's going to be the death
They
of
can
the
do
week?
any of it. It all works.
Exactly. And the sarsaparilla. I'm hoping they have the
I always
sarsaparilla.
wanted to try their sarsaparilla.
No joke, right?
It
But
sounded
I also
tasty.
wanted one of the star caps. I wanted a star cap. I want a star cap from sarsaparilla.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, dude, Fallout New Vegas. There's so much to work with here. This could easily be 5 or 6 seasons because each vault is almost a story by itself. Literally, each vault was a dungeon with a unique, what did they do here? And you could just roll through stories. And then when you run out of material, you just switch over to New Vegas. You run out of material there, switch over to DC. And then we never got to see what was going on overseas. So they've got a huge swath of stories to tell.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's say so far there
point.
are no details on the plot or who might star in the series. So there is very, very little information on this other than the 2 showrunners and that they're supposedly they're partnering with Todd Howard and the rest of the Bethesda.
Oh, well, if they're
crew,
working
so.
with Bethesda, that's good. And if the 2 showrunners, look, I tease Geneva, Robertson, DeWauer, but in reality, With
Yeah.
two showrunners, you got two heads, and two heads are better than one.
Well, I will say, if they are partnering with Bethesda, Bethesda is pretty hardcore
Meticulous.
when it comes to their stories and their lore. So
Yeah, their games may be glitchy, but
Yeah.
the stories are masterpieces.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Skyrim and Oblivion and, was it Daggerfall?
mhm,
Like, they are...
Morrowind.
Morrowind, they are very meticulous. And I could see Todd going, what? No.
Yeah.
No, that's
I mean, when it
stupid.
comes to world building and actually, the world should be there. If they're working with Bethesda, they should have no problem getting the world right.
Absolutely.
The problem will be what they do with the characters.
And it's even forgivable as long as they don't go too bad. Because
Yeah.
honestly, because it's a parody, you can get away with some stuff. Like,
I mean,
parodies are forgiving on
This
characters.
this should be a win for Amazon. If Amazon doesn't get a win with this,
They'll never
then
get
they'll
anything
never
right.
get a win.
Yeah.
This is like the
Right.
They don't even have to make anything
It- it-
original.
it-
It's all already there. Like
Yeah.
like me and Blood X are literally mentioning stuff that's an automatic clapping scene. Nuka-Cola,
yeah.
sarsaparilla, like dog meat.
Yeah,
dog
and,
meat.
and going back to Q's point, the characters I'm not as invested in as I am the factions. So you can have any character you want, male, female, whatever. It won't matter, because we always create our own Vault Hunter and however we wanted. But you have to stay true to the factions. You can't make the Brotherhood of Steel some kind of evil power grab. You can't
no.
go off and
Yeah, you can't go full Nazi.
Yeah,
and
you
make
can't.
was
You,
it
you can't hurt the factions that
Kaiser's
are already
Legion.
created, but you don't have to use them
yeah.
because you can place it anywhere. The faction may not be there.
Yeah, you could totally just have a different
would be
group of
disappointed.
guys.
No, I'd be disappointed if you didn't have the faction. I really would. It's funny. We call Little Caesars Little Kaisars in honor of New Vegas because of Kaiser's Legion. So it's funny. My kids don't know how to say Caesars; they call it Kaisars.
You know, you could go
So,
full
no,
Nazi
if
with
you
Little
don't have
Caesar's
the
Legion. They
factions-
were terrible. They were evil as heck. That's
Yeah,
the most evil faction I've seen in a while.
They
They made
were.
the Enclave seem reasonable.
Oh yeah, and I had no problem dropping the nuclear waste from on top of the cliff on them either. But if you don't have the factions, don't call it Fallout. Call it something else. Just like
I'm
with
not
the
with you
Doom
there.
movie.
I think the
I
factions can be
disagree.
saved for later. I actually will back Zeno on the fact that they don't have to be there immediately. Like, they can build up to it. They don't have to walk out the first vault. There's the Brotherhood of Steel.
Well, no, I agree, but if you don't include them, then it's not Fallout. It's another
They'll be there
dystopian
eventually.
post-apocalyptic
They'll
series.
be there eventually. Knowing
And-
Todd Howard, he won't let him
I
use the
would lo-
factions up front, dude, until he knows they're doing it right. If I know Todd.
Oh no, you're right, because I mean the whole like with the Mandalorian, you're off adventuring. It's almost kind of like the bounty or the vault of the week or whatever. But eventually,
Vault of the week.
even like as a stinger or as a teaser at the end of the first series, you start seeing these power armor guys show up. Oh God, who are these guys? So but you have to include them, or it's not Fallout, in my opinion.
You know,
Um,
Blood Axe, you're a genius. Because that's the way I would do it, brother. Yeah, is I would have all the heroes are back to the corner, they're desperate, they're about to die, and then the freaking brother, because that's how it happened in Fallout 3. They saved my butt. Like, I had a Deathclaw chasing me, and a Brotherhood of Steel Lion's Pride took it down, and I became a fucking hardcore Brotherhood of Steel fan. That was a real in-game experience. By the way, not a cutscene. I just happened to be near an area. That's how good that game was. I'm like, no, I'm running. And all of a sudden I hear, and I turn around, the Brotherhood of Steel like, you okay? And I'm like, yes, who are you? We're the Brotherhood of Steel. And I was just like, yeah. Like, that's why I get so excited when you brought them up. Because my first experience with Brotherhood of Steel is they saved my black booty from a Deathclaw. So I'm sorry. They won all the points when they saved my butt. And again, non-scripted. They help. If they're there, they will help. They will fight raiders. They will fight super mutants. They will fight monsters. I know Fallout 4 tried to make it more questionable, but I will always remember that they helped me when no one else would in the apocalypse. Screw you, Brotherhood of Steel. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to rep Brotherhood of Steel.
Well, and just because you have a questionable group doesn't mean all of them either. you
True.
know?
Well, that's the thing. They do have some questionable ideals, but it's the apocalypse, dude. Nobody's clean. Everybody's going to be a little scuzzy. But they're fighting the crap that's killing people. That gets a lot of forgiveness from me. And that gives
And
them an
they-
N-word pass, a couple of N-word passes. That's how good they were helping my butt. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
and-
Like,
and
you know what? I'll give you 2
Yeah.
because you're killing Death Claws.
All right.
The last thing is the Brotherhood still do follow a very rigid set of laws and rules. They're very honorable. And so you know what to expect from the Brotherhood of Steel as opposed to some of the other factions, not so much.
Enclave.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, they have paladins, and any of us that have ever done D&D or anything like that understand if you have paladins, you have a
Very strict code.
yeah. But all right, well, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. This week, do keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe. I know that Blood Axe and Q are looking at February for maybe some
Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2.
Gameplay
so,
footage. I'm going to show y'all how I run through a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, be sure to check out Dicejunkies.com where links to all of our social media can be found. I think I've been talking to Blood Axe about possibly revamping our website. We'll see how that goes.
Fixing.
Well, we were talking about revamping.
No,
but,
it's fixed. No, it's just we got
Yeah.
to test it now.
the auto post should be fixed now. So, but all right, guys, thanks for watching. And as every week, we hope you enjoy. You failed me, man.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about Dying Light,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
I really,
all right.
it's going to be the Back for Blood Slayer, baby.
You nailed it. How'd you nail it? No one nails it.